The reason why I'm here is that to give you the real-time use case for whatever you are learning here in the sessions. Okay, so that's the purpose. I don't want this conversation to go monotonous. So even don't be think otherwise to unmute yourself and speak, because this is not kind of a formal meeting that nobody should speak. It's okay if you have a disturbance in the background, and if you want to unmute yourself and speak, go ahead and speak for a while and go on mute again. So it kind of gives me a feeling that this conversation is bi-directional rather than unidirectional. Hope I'm clear. Okay, so what is real-time experience? Can anybody want to unmute themselves and say what is real-time experience?
Excuse me, sir.
Hi, Hasina. I was hoping that you would unmute yourself.
Yes,
Good.
sir.
Yeah.
Real time means we use day to day our like that.
Yeah. What happens with day in? What happens if we use something day in and day out? We get some maturity, right? We get some because what happens whenever we try to do something, what happens is that we will do one activity 10 or 20 times wrong. I mean, we get to explore what are the wrong methods in the beginning, but after a while what happens that you know all the wrong methods and you won't be applying. Subconsciously you won't be applying, because when you're learning driving, it what happens, you try to tumble there and you try to hit somebody. You might fell on ground, but what happens that you are learning there what the things that you should not do, not the thing that you should only do. We know that the acceleration is for moving the bike forward or backward, and we know the gear system. We know everything. We know what to do with the things. What we learn is what we should not do throughout the process. So day in and day out, we do a journey, and we train our cognitive mind. Cognitive mind means, what is cognitive mind? Cognitive is something that you are aware of, that you are already thinking. The rational thinking, what is right, what are wrong, should I do it, should I not do it. That is more of a cognitive. What is subconscious or incognitive mind? Like you try to drive a bike and you sit on a bike, you think of something else, but you still drive your bike. That is very powerful. That is very powerful. Your subconscious actions are more powerful than your conscious actions, because with your rational thinking you cannot drive a bike properly, right? You have to forget that I'm driving a bike. You will be looking at things, and the brain itself process automatically. So that's experience. That's real-time experience. You know what is wrong, what is right, without even thinking much of it. Okay, that's the beauty spot. So let me tell you why this is required. Why everybody actually think of having a why everybody prefers to have a candidate who actually experienced, and who is not so much experienced. So so let's say this is a point A. Okay, this is point B. Okay, your goal is to travel from point A to point B. Okay, now you want to start some development and you need to finish it. What is the distance? This is the distance. For an experienced guy, he might go slow and the cost of traveling would increase. But for a fresher is that. But what if I'm moderately experienced guy, he might take less time, because you know what is right and what is wrong subconsciously. He already knows a lot of things to do, how to do something perfectly. So he might take less time. So less time, less travel, and less cost. Okay, a more professional guy, little more professional guy, little more with little more experience and little more knowledge on how not to do the things, so can do it in a pretty quicker way. Okay, so again, come back to here. Less mistakes, correct scope, less mistake, less journey, less cost, and you are achieving the goal. So what is the pattern here? Moving point A to point B is good. That's the goal. In 3 of the scenarios, we are doing it. But the more experienced guy knows where the problems could be, where I could fell into a ditch. I know the route very well. I may not waste time. My cost is less, my effort is less. I know where not to go and where to go, both. So this is called real-time experience. This is the difference between real-time experience. What does it matter to the companies? That the production cost. The cost of production might be huge with less experienced. The cost of experience and cost of production and cost of quality. A fresher may do many mistakes to reach point B. After so many misdirections, so many wrong suggestions and wrong routes, and after a lot of problems, he still reach, but the quality of the journey defines. So cost, quality, and time. So this is what real-time experience means. Knowing what not to do, knowing how exactly do, knowing what questions to ask, knowing how to make the journey smooth and give the delivery in optimal situations with a good quality. That is what real-time experience is. Not knowing so many codes, not knowing so many knowledge, so many technologies, not having a mind like Abdul Kalam or some other scientist. So having a real-time experience and having a good understanding on something is way bit different than you might have imagined. Hope this is clear. So yeah, I assume. So try not to think that years of experience will teach you something. Years of experience, seniority, white hair, white beard, uh, you know, long body, good physique, and nothing will help you. What is called real-time experience and what is called what is actually taken into consideration is this: the journey, the cost, the quality. As a fresher, you are learning everything perfectly. You know the journey, you can reduce the cost, you can ask right questions and do the things right, you can produce a quality. You are as good as an experienced guy. For a fresher, if you are able to do the same job here with your practice and you put so much of practice and you spend so many hours, this could be a fresher journey too. This can happen with a fresher too. So hope that is clear. So if you think that a white beard or a long hair or a obese physique or a spectacles that a person wears, that is not the representation of experience and real-time experience and seniority. So yeah, so to gain the real-time experience on the technology field, what you need to do, what you need to have. Okay, that's the second question. Yeah, you said in a general scenario, you said this is what real-time experience means. But if I'm as a web developer, what should I do? As a web developer, what should I learn? So you need to understand the ecosystem of tools. Okay, there are different tools apart from HTML, apart from CSS, JavaScript, Angular, Node. There are other tools, other technologies that help you to reduce the cost of your production. Okay, that there are tools that will speed up your work. There are tools that can take care of your templated jobs. Like, you are not a machine, right? You cannot do controls. If you are supposed to copy paste something 100 times, you're not a robot. You need not to hit 100 times control C, control V, control C, control V. That's not your job. That's a robot job. So there are tools to do that kind of jobs. So you need to learn about them. Okay, that's what I mean. That's an example. That's not exactly what we are going to discuss here. That is one of the aspect. So you need to understand what should be templated. There are tools that do the job. Wherever the human interface is needed, there we have to go. Okay, fine then.